Hi, it's Rachel, welcome back to my channel. I'm always raving about Makeup Geek shadows, so I thought that today I would show you some of my favourites. For those of you who don't know, Makeup Geek is run by Marlena. She still does make YouTube videos, and she wanted really good quality shadows that weren't really expensive. So her line are great. They're comparable with some of the most expensive eyeshadows I have, but they're all a really good price. I think the regular shadows are $5.99, and then the foiled ones are $9.99. I think the pigments might be around the same price as the shadows, but a lot of them are on sale at the moment, I noticed. I keep my Makeup Geek shadows in Z palettes. I've got 3. This one is my bright colours. I've got a few shadows as well from Illamasqua, Sugarpill and Makeup Forever in here. These are my foiled shadows, and then I've got some Fizz Makeup Tip shadows as well. And then I keep my neutrals in here with some Illamasqua and Sugarpill Bulletproof. I love Z palettes, they're great for travelling. I like that you can see what's in them, and they've got a magnetic closure, so I've never had any problems with them opening when they shouldn't or making a mess. So I'll pick out some shadows to show you first that are my favourite. And in true Marlena style, I have my wet wipes at the ready. I'll show you some of my favourite foil shadows. The foiled shadows are super metallic shadows that give the same effect of when you foil a pigment. They're really opaque with one swipe. So I got that intensity with just one swipe. The gold is called Magic Act, the middle one is called Houdini, and that one is amazing. If you had the Urban Decay liquid liner in Siren, it's quite a similar colour, and then the green at the top is Jester. So there's 20 of these foiled shadows out so far. They cost a little bit more because the ingredients cost more, but I think they're definitely worth it. I'll pick out some favourites from my coloured palette. This is Chickadee and Orange, and it makes a surprisingly good transition colour. In most things I really don't like the colour green, but for some reason I love lime green eyeshadows. This is Pixie Dust and it's pretty awesome. I've swatched it just there above Chickadee. This is Peacock, a deep matte teal shade, and I've swatched it there above Pixie Dust. This is Bitten, and most people's favourite. It's a matte burgundy. I used it in the Look Today as the deepest colour, and I've swatched it there below Chickadee. This is Poppy, a bright reddy orange, and this one is also surprisingly good for blending out a smoky eye. I've swatched it there vertically. Now onto some of my favourite neutrals. When I was trying to think of my favourite Makeup Geek shadows, the first one that came to mind is this one. It's called Rockstar, and in the pan it looks like a light metallic grey, but it's got pink reflects. It's great for an inner corner highlight or dabbing over something else. Probably won't be able to see very much. It's by there, but I'll put in a close-up or link to it down below. This is Cocoa Bear, a warm mid-brown, and it's amazing in a smoky eye. It's just there below Rockstar. Next up is Preppy, and it's this strange greeny brown. I really like it with one of her other shades, High Tea, doing a sort of weird khaki eye. It looks really strange in the pan, but it's surprisingly wearable. It's just there below Cocoa Bear. One last shadow, this is Taupe Notch, and it's not quite metallic, it's more of a satin deep taupe, and it's the bottom one there. I love cool tones as well as warm tones on my eyes. I kind of wish I could do them all as favourites, but that would be a really long video. Moving on to pigments, the one I've got on the inner 2/3 of my eye today is Utopia, and it's really hard to describe. In the jar it looks like a deep cool brown, but on the eyes it can look quite gold. I think it's quite unique, I don't have anything else that looks remotely like it. If you don't have MAC's Blue Brown Pigment or Urban Decay Lounge, I'll list a blog post where I've done a few dupes for that kind of browny green shade. Then I highly recommend getting Makeup Geek Insomnia. It's a really pigmented duochrome greeny brown. It's really beautiful. It looks like, you know, all the other greeny browns out there, so if you don't have one already, I highly recommend getting that one. And I'll show you one more pigment. This one is Liquid Gold, and it is a gold. It's quite a yellowy gold, and it is very metallic. It looks absolutely amazing foiled. All of these swatches are just done with no primer, one maybe two swipes. So yeah, I'll link to a blog post that's got close-up photos of all of these swatches in them. And like I said, I wish I could show you all of them because they're so good. I'm really excited that there's new matte shades and I think maybe foiled shades coming out later this month. And I've seen on Snapchat that she's also working on some duochrome pigments, and duochrome is my thing, so quite excited about that. So Makeup Geek shadows are really reasonable and amazing for the price. If you're in the UK, the shipping is alright, but you quite often have to pay customs, although not every time. Even with the customs, you know, the shadows still work out so much better than MAC shadows. They only come loose by themselves, so I recommend getting a Z palette or something similar to keep them in. I hope this was helpful if you're thinking about buying some Makeup Geek shadows. And if you've never heard of them before, you now know that there are some absolutely amazing budget alternatives, because high street shadows are sometimes quite disappointing. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.